Picture this. It's the absolute hottest day of the year. The air is so thick you could practically swim through it. And then, nothing. Just silence. The cool air stops flowing. Your air conditioner has just died. It's a nightmare scenario, right? And it's one that's all too familiar, especially if you happen to live anywhere near the coast. Today, we're going to break down exactly why your AC is in a constant fight for its life.
So, what's the deal? Why does it feel like your system is always just one hot day away from a total meltdown? Is it just a string of bad luck, or is there something more going on? Something specific to your environment that's secretly, silently wearing your system down?
All right, let's get right into it. You have to understand, not all hot climates are the same, not by a long shot. When you're talking about HVAC systems, coastal regions are what the pros call a brutal climate zone. And it's not just because of the high temperatures. It's the entire environment that's basically working against your machine. I mean, just think about it. From May all the way through October, that AC is running pretty much constantly just to keep things bearable. But on top of that heavy workload, it's getting pummeled by environmental forces that systems even just a few miles inland never, ever have to deal with. This whole situation just sets the stage for a much shorter and much harder life for your equipment.
So, let's pull back the curtain and meet the two main culprits here. We're talking about the invisible killers that are relentlessly attacking your HVAC system around the clock. You can't really see them, but trust me, they are doing damage every single day.
This slide really says it all. You see, an inland system, it battles heat and dust. And don't get me wrong, that's tough enough. But a coastal system, it's fighting all of that, plus two huge aggressors, corrosive salt in the air and that relentless sticky humidity. A good way to think about it is like this. The salt is literally eating away at the metal components, while the humidity forces your system to work a double shift. It has to cool the air and wring all that water out of it.
And here's where the rubber meets the road. This is the real-world damage we're talking about. That salt air leads to rust and corrosion, which causes refrigerant leaks. All that constant humidity? It's a breeding ground for mold and algae that clog up your drain lines, which can lead to serious water damage. The nonstop operation completely wears out the compressor. That's the heart of your system. And let's not forget those daily thunderstorms that can send power surges right through your house, frying the delicate electronics.
So when your system eventually does break down, you're faced with that huge, expensive question. Do you sink more money into repairing it, or is it finally time to replace the whole thing? It's a really tough call, but luckily there's a simple industry guideline that can make the decision a whole lot clearer.
It's called the $5,000 rule. Now, this isn't some kind of hard and fast law, but it's a fantastic financial rule of thumb. It's designed to help you take the emotion out of the decision and really see if you're about to throw good money after bad.
And it's actually super simple. Here's how it works. You just take the age of your air conditioner, in years, and you multiply that number by the repair quote you just got. If the final number is more than $5,000, the rule suggests that it's probably time to seriously start thinking about a replacement.
Let's just walk through a quick real-world example. Let's say your system is 12 years old, which, let's be honest, is getting up there, especially in a coastal climate. The repair is going to cost you $500. So you multiply 12 by 500 and you get $6,000. Since that number is over the $5,000 threshold, it's a really strong sign that getting a new, more efficient unit is probably the smarter financial move in the long run.
Okay, so whether you decide to repair or you decide to replace, the very next step is absolutely crucial. You have to make sure the job is done right. So how can you tell if a contractor is a real pro who follows standards, or if they're just guessing? Well, there's a playbook for this, and you need to know what's in it. This chart makes the difference crystal clear. A real professional doesn't size a new system just based on a square footage guess. They perform something called a manual J load calculation that actually analyzes your home's unique cooling needs. They don't just eyeball the ductwork and say, yeah, that looks about right. No. They use manual D calculations, and they absolutely do not skip the permits. They pull them to make sure all the work is inspected and, most importantly, safe.
And the really big takeaway here is that all these standards, they're not just jargon. They are there to protect you. Proper sizing is so important. A unit that's too big is just as bad as one that's too small, because it'll cool the air down fast, but it won't run long enough to pull that awful sticky humidity out. And things like SEER ratings, they're written into the building code to save you money on your energy bills. And that EPA certification isn't just a sticker. It's about safety and making sure the person handling those chemicals knows what they're doing.
So, how can you make sure you're actually hiring a true professional?
Easy. We've put together a simple checklist for you. These are the key questions you should ask any contractor before you let them anywhere near your system.
These 5 questions are your shield. Think of them as your secret weapon. Asking about a Manual J, the SEER rating, and permits, that'll tell you immediately if they follow code. Asking about EPA certification and how they verify the refrigerant charge, well, that reveals their technical skills. A good contractor will have confident, clear, and immediate answers for every single one of these. If they hesitate, that's a red flag.
Look, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Being an informed homeowner is your single best defense. You don't have to become an HVAC expert overnight, but just knowing the right questions to ask can literally save you thousands of dollars and ensure your family is comfortable and safe.
So there you have it. You now understand the invisible war your air conditioner is fighting every single day against salt and humidity. You got the tools to make smarter financial decisions, and you know how to spot a true pro from someone who's just guessing. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with that knowledge?